Hey guys, this is the preview for our Masechet Mastery work that we're going to be doing. I'm going to walk through a sugya in Masechet Kedushin, one that we're not learning this year, obviously, just to give you a sense of what I'm looking for in the mastery video. Again, there's 4 parts of what we're doing. There's the previewing the sources, the Mishnayot, the Braitot, the Shachal V'Tarya. There's previewing the important terms. There's going through reading and translating the Gemara, and then there's also finally narrating the visual flow chart and showing how that fits into the Gemara. So I'm going to do that right now, and you'll see how it works. Okay, so here's our Gemara. It is on Daf Bet Amud Aleph in Masechet Kedushin, and if we take a look, here's what we'll see in our Gemara. The Gemara begins off with a quote from our Mishnah. It then moves on to some Shachal V'Tarya, which involves quotes from Mishnayot as well. Ha'ish Nikneit, Ha'ish Mikadesh. Okay, but again, this is all Shachal V'Tarya, right there and right there. Then the Gemara continues and kind of solves this problem. Then the Gemara has the Gemara continues with the Shachal V'Tarya up until here. Then you have quotes from Psukim, so we'll put that in another color. Ki kach ish isha is one pasuk, and atati kesef hasdeh kachimeni is another pasuk. And again, all surrounding those Psukim is a lot more Shachal V'Tarya. Okay, and then you have another pasuk right here. Hasadeh asher kana Abraham. These are the steps that you have on the first Amud, the first Amud of this sugya, and then we move on to the next Amud. We see obviously some more of the same. We have a little more Shachal V'Tarya. Oops, that was a mistake. Should we be highlighting there? We have a little more. 1 second. We have a little more Shachal V'Tarya Inami. Then another quote from a pasuk Sado B'Kesef Iknu. The Gemara then continues with another quote from our Mishnah, Ha'isha Nikneit. And then a much longer Shachal V'Tarya. And all of this is Shachal V'Tarya. It's the discussion that goes back and forth related to the other sources. In this case, a bunch of quotes from the Mishnah and some quotes from Psukim. If you don't like the way the highlighting turns out on this app, you can always underline. You could circle. You can do whatever you want. You can put it into Notability, and highlight it and then put it back in, and however you'd like to do it. But either way, make it clear what the different parts of the Gemara are. Then we move on to look at the important terms that come up in this Gemara. So now we go back to the original daf, and we look at some important terms, which we'll circle, pick a different color. I guess we'll do that in yellowish or gold, whatever this is. So we have this phrase. Oops, my bad. Did not want to highlight. Let's get rid of that. Start over again. Sorry about that. So we begin with this phrase, "My shnahacha," and we have another phrase, "My shnahatam." "My shnahacha," "My shnahatam," when used together, are asking why in two similar cases it's treated a little differently. We have over here Ditani and Ditani, which introduce quotes from Mishnayot. So we're going to be asking, right, "My shnahacha Ditani," "My shnahacha Ditani." Why does one Mishnah say one thing differently and another Mishnah say something else differently? We have this phrase, Gemar Kicha Kicha, which is the name of a Gezerah Shavah. This little 3-word phrase shows us that we're working with the Gezerah Shavah. The name of the Gezerah Shavah is Kicha Kicha. Ketiv Hacha and Ketiv Hatam tell you that we're quoting Psukim from 2 different places and we're comparing them, which is how Gezerah Shavah works. Quotes another pasuk here, Dichtiv, as it says in a pasuk, so we're quoting another pasuk there. And then we move on to the next Amud, and we see this phrase Inami. Inami meaning another alternative possibility. And then the Gemara goes again and says V'nitnei hatam. V'nitnei means why don't you say in the Mishnah hatam over there? It's going to make a suggestion, is asking why the Mishnah doesn't phrase itself a certain way. So again, by going through these terms that we've circled in gold, we get a little bit of a sense of what's going to be happening in this Gemara. So again, if we're doing this in Bava Kama, you'd want to do the same thing. Circle your Tanans and Ditanans and Ditani and Amar Rabba, because we know that it's a memra. I gave you a whole list I give you the list of which terms you should be circling and explaining, and the idea is to show, hey, if I'm looking through this Gemara the first time and I see these terms, even though I don't know the Gemara word for word, I should know basically what's going to be happening in the Gemara. Right. Third step, we're going to read and translate the Gemara from the beginning and explain it. There's a quote from the Mishnah which says a woman is acquired. The Gemara now asks a question comparing our Mishnah to another Mishnah. Why is it different here? Tani that it says a woman acquires. What's different over there? Tani that it says in the Mishnah that a woman is acquired. So the Gemara here is asking why the language of one Mishnah is different than the other Mishnah. The Gemara then moves on to the answer. Mishum dekabay limitnei kesef, because our Mishnah needed to mention kesef as one of the ways of kedushin. V'kesef minolin. Where do we learn kesef from? That it can be used for kedushin. Gemar kichicha. It's a gezeira shava called kichicha mistei Ephron. The psukim related to the field of Ephron. Ketiv it's written here regarding to kedushin. Kikach ishisha. That's the first pasuk that we're going to use for the gezeira shav. If a man acquires a woman, kikach, the key word is there. But ketiv atam, it's written over there. Over there in this case means related to the field of Ephron. Natati kesef, I've given you the money for the field. Kach, take it from me, mimeni, from me. So this kach and yikach is the Gemara kichicha we're talking about. So the Gemara then continues with this proof, with this really solution, and says v'kicha ikra kinyan. And now, why do we talk about Aisha niknei? Well, because kicha, taking, ikra kinyan, another word for that is kinyan. Dichtiv, as it says in the pasuk. Now we're going to prove that kicha means kinyan. Hasader shekar Avraham, excuse me. Long day. The field which Avraham acquired. Inami, another possible source that kinyan and kesef mean the same thing. Sado b'kesef yiknu. Fields can be acquired yiknu with kesef. So therefore, after all that, Tani Haisha Niknei. That's why our Mishnah says Haisha Niknei, a woman is acquired. So we've just solved the problem of why our Mishnah says Haisha Niknei specifically, because we need to mention kesef, and kesef is related to the word Niknei, kinyan. So that's true. Nitnei hatam. Why don't you say over there in the second parak, in the other Mishnah, Haish koneh, man acquires. If koneh kinyan is so important to kedushin, so say Haish koneh instead of Haish mekadesh. The Gemara answers no. Meikar originally tani lishna doraita. We wanted to start off by using the words of the Torah, which is yikach, to take, which translates to koneh in our case. However, Lusov at the end, Tani Lishna Durabanan. I wanted to mention the words of the rabbis. I wanted to give us both perspectives. Umay Lishna Durabanan. What's the words of the Rabbanan? The Asar La Kuliyama, she's offered to everybody Kehekdesh, as if she is Hekdesh, she's Kodesh, she's set aside. So what the Gemara is trying to explain here is why we have two different phrases to say a man acquires a woman. The first time it says Ha'isha Nikneit, a woman is acquired, because the Mishnah is trying to focus on the fact that the word that the Torah uses, which is Yikach, to take, and Kikach and Kinyan are equal, and therefore the word Kinyan is going to be used for Kesef. And then why does it then switch to Aish Mekadesh to Kedushin? And just want you to stick with the Kinyan Lashon, because I wanted to also focus on what the way the rabbis viewed Kedushin as well. Okay, so that's me reading and going through and translating the Gemara. And you'll notice there were times where I stopped and I added a lot more commentary, because you need to be explaining what the Gemara is doing at each step along the way. Finally, let's do the visual. Finally, we're going to walk through some visuals. What I want you guys to be able to do is take each of the visuals that I provide for you and explain how this visual fits the Gemara. Again, right now you don't have to understand the exact Gemara just to see what I'm doing. Okay, back in character. So this is the beginning of our Gemara, and it's asking here why in one Mishnah, this is our Mishnah, it says a woman is acquired, and somewhere else it says a man is Mekadesh, and we had a question of why the difference between the two languages, and this is the Gemara's original answer, that it's because of Kesef, because Kesef is used for Kedushin, and that's what we're talking about in our Mishnah, mentioning it, and acquired is a very good Lashon. Kinyan fits with Kesef, that's why it uses this Lashon of acquired. That's how the Gemara began. The second visual explains what the connection is between acquiring and kesef. It's based on this gezeira shav here. This illustrates the gezeira shav. We have two psukim. One that says, when a man takes a wife, it says yikach, to take, and then it says, I have paid for the field, take it from me. It also says kach. So kach is the word kach, to take, is used for kedushin, and it's used for purchasing a field. Therefore, it teaches us the same way money can be used for a field, it can be used for a man to take a woman. And that's how you know that kesef works for kedushin, and that's why you can use the word acquired, because yikach and kinyan, which I actually didn't put on this, was not put on this, but the word kinyan and yikach are synonymous, to take, to acquire, and therefore acquire and to take is the same thing, and therefore this gezeira tava teaches us that acquiring and money is useful for kedushin as well. Finally, the Gemara's last question was, why don't we say then, once we know that acquiring makes sense in our Gemara, so why not in the other Mishnah say, a man acquires, instead of saying a man is Mekadesh? So the Gemara answered, well, because the Mishnah wanted to show two perspectives. First, the perspective of the Torah, in which taking a woman is more like acquiring. And then there's the perspective of the Rabbanan, which is more about Kedushin, about being Mekadesh. And that's the approach of the rabbis, that's Kedusha, and that's why one Mishnah talks about acquiring, right, from the Torah, from the Psukim, and therefore it says Kinyan. Use the lashon of kinyan, and then the Mishnah in the second parak wants to show us the perspective of the rabbis. Use the word mekadesh, and that's why the two Mishnayot have two different ways of saying it. So that concludes the different things that I want you guys to be doing for this video. Again, it's previewing each of the types of statements: Mishnah, Braita, Gemara, Memra, Shachal, V'Tarya. Then I want you to be pointing out the important terms again before you even read and translate and saying, hey, this term which means Tanan says tells us we're bringing proof from a Mishnah. This one says Tanya says we're bringing proof from a Brisa, etc., etc. Then I want you to read and translate the Gemara. Don't forget to put in your own commentary. And then finally, narrating those videos. Again, all this material, the visuals are available on Haiku. The snapshots of the Gemara pages are available on Haiku, and you can use all that and explain everything to make your video. I'm looking forward to see what you guys can do. And it's going to be great, and I'm looking forward, like I just said, and I'll say it again, I'm looking forward, and then I'll end very awkwardly. Looking forward.